Hello, hello. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. It's the most wonderful day of the week. It's Sarah Wednesday.
Hello.
Everything's better when Sarah's around.
Oh.
But we have our goddess of Southern sass to go over the news with us.
I like that title. That's a nice title. Mm-hmm.
And but we're also here with you. Thank you for being here. We have epic troll slayers who have kept us safe for years. Thank you. We have got a fantastic community because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to us. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. Don't forget, you can go down the description box. All the questions are listed there. Miss Sarah will be time-stamping as we go.
Yep.
So you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on a higher speed. It's usually, you have to watch for 3 minutes of any part of the video for it to count as a view. Yeah, so that is that. So, and on today's episode, in Nacho Narcissist's 100 Days interview, he was presented with the fact that the pictures of the gang tattoos on Albrego Garcia's hands the White House had released are photoshopped, and he kept arguing that they weren't. Howard Lutnick admitted he's getting perks from selling the $5 million gold visas. And Lindsey Graham has endorsed Trump for Pope because Lindsey Graham's word in the Vatican is
it's
law.
Up there. It's up there. So.
And more. Oh boy. Today I've got these they're slightly sparkly blue nails.
So pretty. And
I am using the Yarn Tarot. Hard to see. There you go. Which is a lot of fun. And since I've really got it in my head about us all crafting more, us all mending and making do, and cooking more, and baking more, and gardening more, and our balcony pot, growing things in pots more. Yeah, this seemed appropriate. So. Okay, shall we?
Yes. All right, y'all. 310. In Nacho Narcissist 100 Days interview, he was presented with the fact that the pictures of the gang tattoos that the White House released of Albrego Garcia's hands were photoshopped badly. Now, not AI, so it's not 6 fingers on a hand, but you can if you really zoom in, you can see the outlines of where they put the gang tattoo.
The artifacts. You can see the artifacts of the image that they added.
So Trump was like, oh, no, those are real. And they're like, sir, they're really. Well, you're being unfair. You just have it out for Trump. You're just being unfair.
Who talks about themselves in the third person?
Narcissist.
Who? Yeah. Who the heck? I do not know anybody in my entire life who talks about themselves in the third person. And seriously, if you and I were talking and I was just suddenly like, well, that's not good for Sebastian, you would be like, well, what?
Is she having a break? Is there somebody?
Who am I speaking to now?
Right?
Is Sebastian in the room with us?
Right? Yeah, the only time, and legitimately, and this is not a dig at all, okay? Remember, I myself am neurospicy. I come from a long family of lineage of neurospicy folks. So, but the only time that I've seen someone do that on a continuous basis and not just a, what would Sarah do type situation, is when I worked at my local psychiatric ward clerking. That is the only time I saw it with regularity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
Bob Dole. I forgot about that.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
Bob
gosh.
Dole used to as well, yeah.
That's not good for Bob Dole.
Smiling Bob.
Smiling Bob? Okay, so the question here from Cosmic Goat Lady is, are we close to the 25th Amendment being enacted?
Yeah, because this is...
But this isn't anything unusual.
No, the talking in third person is not unusual, but we're presenting you with facts. It's right here, like right here.
Okay, I'm gonna push back respectfully from the bottom, with respect to the bottom of my heart. This is a man who took a Sharpie and drew on a hurricane map.
You know what? You've made a point. You've made an absolute point. Facts? What are those? We like the alternative versions. Yes.
Those are alternative facts.
Mm-hmm.
I will never forget that. I was watching it live, and I just about fell off my chair.
I can't keep commenting on that train of thought because I have wordy nerds, and this is a G to PG at most rated channel. So, yeah.
Kathy Whiplash, I love that. Bob Dole doesn't appreciate people making fun of Bob Dole, said Bob Dole. Oh boy. Look. He wasn't, let's just say he didn't necessarily have a full bag of marbles in the first place. And part of that is genetics, but part of it is a lifetime of self-indulgence in every way, shape, and form. When you blow through every social norm, when you give in to every impulse, when you do not spend much of your time, maybe the word would be sober, allegedly. Yeah. Decades of that is not good. However, he is very clearly who he is. And some of this cruelty and stupidity isn't new. So, yes, the White House, this is the Knight of Wands. He is the King of Wands. So, yes, the White House put out this aggressive stupidity that is facing judgment, and it's not going so well. But this is the chaos he constantly causes and lives in. Seven of Wands is him on the defensive if you point out facts. But King of Pentacles, everybody lets him get away with changing the facts. And we need to hold these Republicans accountable who are all acting like they don't have a spine just because they want more power. Now, he's got the Hermit card and the Ten of Wands. So isolation and burden. He's more paranoid as time goes on. He has less impulse control, because impulse control is a skill and you have to practice. You can't go decades and decades and decades of, I think I'll, letting your id run free. I think I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. I think I'll bankrupt this company. I think I'll take out
penguins.
Fear penguins. I think I'll take out a full page ad accusing innocent people of
dastardly things.
I think on and on. So is he deteriorating? Well, yeah, but there's No, and the Republicans are backing him. So, no.
Note for two things. One, when you were talking about someone not having all of their marbles to begin with, I was just thinking, like, that, hypothetically speaking, in generalities, not talking about any specific one person, but if someone's brain cells were like marbles and they were dusted with prescriptions that they maybe should not have been over many, many years, it's kind of like salt on Orbeez, those little water bead things. You put salt on them and then they just shrink. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. Also, Kay says, you just can't make that stuff up. Obviously, they can.
Well, you can't. Yeah, we know.
You do it successfully. But, yeah, they're giving it the old college try. So,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, Sabine, for entertainment only. Yes, but we're talking generalities. We're not even talking about a specific person there. So, all right. At 11 minutes and 15 seconds. Howard Lutnick. Oof, Jesus. This man admitted he is getting perks from selling the gold visas. Quote, "It's unbelievable." He said, "We've got so much. As I travel around, the attention on the Trump gold card, I mean, it makes me very popular. Last night, I was out at dinner and someone came up and said, 'Can I buy 10? And how do I buy 10? And I'm like, it's pretty good. It's $50 million at dinner. So, it's paying for my dinner." It's paying for my dinner.
Please let this man end up in prison.
So, Lutnick is...
Because he did say it all out loud.
Mm-hmm. So he's being accused of selling citizenship to rich friends and getting bribes. Is anything going to come of it? Raymond, that is hysterical, but I can't repeat it. Amy said, "Where is he dining?" It's not a Chuck E. Cheese, babe. Where somebody's got 5 million, 10 people, or somebody wants to buy 10 gold visas.
I guess the good thing is that these idiots are so selfish and entitled that they say the criminal parts out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing is going to happen until later. This is ridiculous. The card for the reading is the charity card. And people who come to this country are often they come from bad situations. They work very, very hard. They learn, the history of the country. They learn so much, and they're happy to be here. This is just absolute corruption. There's a devil card. There's a fool card.
Mm-hmm.
This is a slap in the face to everyone who's come here legally. And that's the other thing. How is buying your way in, how is that coming in here legally?
Yeah.
But this is abject poverty, and this is stabbed in the back 10 times. But for now, 8 of Cups, walking away. This is unfinished. Loopholes. That's really what this is, that missing bit. Queen of Wands. He's not the only one benefiting from this. Allegedly.
Yeah. This whole thing with the immigration. My husband and I were having a conversation this morning before I came in. And we were talking about, the priorities. What's good, like, should because he said, you're in news more than I am. And he's like, well,
that's my fault. Go ahead.
He's like, so, how are things looking, I mean, is this ICE stuff just going to get worse? And I'm like, okay, here's the deal. And I was thinking, we finished talking about other stuff, but here's the deal, guys. They're evil. They are, this administration is evil, but they're stupid. So they're really only going to be able to maintain enough evil to do damage on like a concentrated front at a time, right? So they're about to be really busy trying to clean up this tariff mess. As you guys have been talking about, with everything with the ports and the whatnot, and the empty shelves that we're going to be looking at and all this other stuff. So I don't see personally, I don't see this ending well for them, because I mean, for one, they've really screwed the pooch when it comes to midterms. Yeah. For two, I don't even think it's going to be an issue before midterms. I'm thinking by August, September. And isn't that when, I mean, haven't you been saying that that's when the astrology is getting funky?
Really funky in August. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm really thinking, guys, stay by your TVs. We're going to have some Redneckian Les Mis thing going on. Because when Meemaw is not getting her meds and Jim Bob, is really out of work and his benefits are cut off and all this, I mean, there's a line of what they'll take, and they may never blame him for doing it, but at some point they're going to blame him for not fixing it.
I would hope. I should read on that, but I can't get over the idea of Redneck Les Mis.
Well,
can you hear the people say?
People are going to be rolling up with John Deere's. I'm telling y'all, it's bad. Oh goodness.
Becky, thank you.
Oh, it's very sweet. Yeah. And the thing is that we've been seeing the leopards ate my face. I mean, people are really, it's really starting to, yeah.
Let's have a look. By August, September is there even going to be a song in the distance of Redneck Les Mis? Yeah. Okay, card for the reading is the government. A lot of these MAGA people, they don't like the government in the first place. But also with the fool, oh look, and the devil with the government, then safety net? What safety net? This does not make me happy, because the first card is the DEATH card. That does not make me happy. Then we have the Ten of Swords. Ouch. The person lying on the ground with all the swords in the back. Yeah. Page of Swords. Well, this is taking pain, but it's just as one average person. How much can you do? Well, you've got the Sun here. And you've got the Five of Swords. So, yeah, you definitely have some of the people who voted for Trump switching to the Democrats, or at least the bare minimum switching to be independents. I am more concerned because this Sun card.
Yeah.
I didn't have a card of white supremacy before I started reading on these jerks.
Yeah.
But I don't like that they're hurting, so they pick up a sword and they're trying to stir stuff up.
See, I mean, you can only vote against your own self-interest for so long.
Right.
But
yeah. This is not going to be pleasant. And please, I would love to be completely wrong. I mean, I hope everybody knows by now that I would love for everybody to be okay. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I would rather just have normal political arguments about normal things that we argue about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want people going hungry. I don't want any of that. And
yeah,
I am concerned.
Well, we're gonna make it.
Cindy says Dems only have a 27% approval. We've got to do better. I haven't seen that number. It's interesting. I'll have to look that up. Thank you, Cindy.
Yes. But the thing is that's only, as more stuff happens, that is only going to go up. I mean,
yeah.
All right. At 21:45. Lewis. All right. Lewis
hang on one second. And yes, white supremacy. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you're good. Lewis has a question. So Lindsey Graham wrote on X yesterday. Okay, hang on. Let me get my... I don't really do South Carolina well, but y'all just bear with me. I was excited to hear that President Trump is open to the idea of being the next pope. This would truly be a dark horse candidate. But I would ask the papal conclave and Catholic faithful to keep an open mind about this possibility. The first Pope-U.S. president combination has many, many upsides. Watching for white smoke.
I can't breathe. Okay, all right. Okay, first of all, hard facts. 1, you have to be a baptized Catholic. And 2, you have to be one of the cardinals. Okay. 2, okay. 3, have you lost your mind? Okay. Do you know what this reminds me of? That my favorite, some of you have heard this story before. I apologize. But one of my favorite scenes in all of TV history, there was this show called Chef. It's a British show. It was very funny. And there was this English chef. He runs a restaurant. That's what the show's about. But he went for a competition. So he went to France for a competition. And he specifically brought with him some English wine. And he was going to do English food.
Okay.
But somebody was sabotaging him. So they took his stuff. So there's a scene. He has to go to a French vineyard.
Oh, no.
And he walks in and he's looking around, and the man, you don't have to know much French to understand what I'm about to say. But the man behind the counter says, bonjour. And chef, that's what everyone calls him, chef, says, je voudrais vin. And the man working there is just surrounded by wine bottles. He's like, oui.
Yeah.
And chef goes, je voudrais vin Angleterre. And the man behind the counter goes, Valgadaire! English wine. You walked into a French vineyard and said you want English wine. You want wine from England.
Yeah.
Valgadaire. Just the sheer
audacity. Yeah. The head popping off. Yeah.
That's kind of what I feel about Trump as Pope.
Yeah. I mean, I realize that he's appointed WWE's Lyndon McMahon as the Secretary of Education. But I mean, it would literally take him walking into the conclave with a steel chair for this to happen. I mean, I just...
Pope Trump, Pope Donald.
Right? As the chat has pointed out, it wouldn't be white smoke, it'd be orange.
Yeah, orange. The orange Pope. Yes, Beekeeper Tarot. Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Rob, I agree. I think it was a typo. I think he meant to say dope. Much more accurate. Okay. Sabine says, no, Dorinda says he'd need to sit in the steel chair every couple of feet.
Lord help. The Pope-mobile, the modifications to the Pope-mobile. Would the roof have the swoop?
There we go.
The swoop, yeah.
He could like take that swoop of hair and like push it upright, like glue across to it, so like the mitre just
right.
Yeah.
And if he's really serious about this, we've talked before about Pope on a rope.
I can't. I'm wheezing today. I'm not even laughing. I'm wheezing.
And you know this man will sell anything. So how much do you want to bet there's going to be a version of Pope on a rope in his shop soon?
Oh, God.
And man thinks he can make a buck.
Well, there's AI. I sent you a video, AI video of Trump dressed as the Pope.
I do believe you watched my face go.
Yeah, I did. I said, "Here, look at this," and that's the look of dawning horror. Yeah. This is a bunch of rear end kissing. Two of Wands. Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Wands, more. Yeah. This is insulting, and no. This is literally nothing but sucking up to the authoritarian orange menace. Oh, that's a good point, Beekeeper Tarot. Does McDonald's deliver to the Vatican?
Yeah. Sharon Garrett, she looked at the possibility of impeachment yesterday. Sorry.
Mama says I'd excommunicate myself.
Yes. It's like walking to the church and be like, where's the unsubscribe button? Okay. We needed a giggle. So, all right. At 29 even. Anne and Julie, while we're on the subject of the Vatican, had some questions. Cardinal, y'all know how I am with names. If I mess it up, my apologies. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle of the Philippines has emerged as a leading candidate to become the next pope. Tagle is often referred to as the Asian Francis. His progressive views and humble demeanor have drawn comparisons to Pope Francis, and he was Pope Francis's favorite to succeed him and is currently head of the important new super-dicastery for evangelization. Yeah. So he's relatively, in Pope years, he is relatively young at 67. So what are his odds at being the next Pope, or will it end up swinging more conservative? This is the most progressive candidate.
it's weird. I think it's I'm confused as to whether or not it's just the sheer, just how conservative Catholicism is in the first place, which is why I'm getting articles, which are usually conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
The card for the reading is a whole bunch of different people who are still being considered.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's willing to who can do the work. Ace of Cups would be something new, a little more liberal. Page of Pentacles. This is someone who's humble, at least. Seven of Pentacles, fruits of labor. 10 of Pentacles, the dynasty. It looks pretty good, but it's so conservative. And with the other people here, I do have a Page of Cups, and I would have thought that'd be him. But then again, he is on the top of the 4. I don't usually get 4 cards for a reading, but that's what was right there. I mean, the good news is that Francis put some, more liberal people, relatively speaking, in positions of power.
Yes.
Because boy, did he burn some bridges with some people who were just in there to live very high on the hog.
Mm-hmm.
Pope? Would it be Louis?
Well, I mean, Francis was not Francis's name. He'll take a name.
Okay. Maybe. I do have a strength card, which is my favorite card in this deck. Guess why?
I love this. I love this. I love this one.
Yes. I love everything about this card.
Yes.
Anyway. Government, nostalgia, no, institution, not government. Institution, nostalgia, Queen of Swords. This is officially setting something up. I'm not getting horrible cards, so this is good.
Okay.
Yes. Dancing bikini.
Yes. Just one more good giggle before we roll on.
Yes.
I was watching, I'm not sure if you sent it to me or not. There was a skit where a man was talking about, the new Pope situation, stand-up comic. And he said, and we'll never have a female Pope. For the simple fact that, they lost the Ark of the Covenant hundreds of years ago. So, you don't want a female Pope walking in and opening a closet and being like, it was here the whole time. How many of you couldn't find it? Yeah. So they will never have a female Pope. She will just find everything that they've lost. So. Technically, they did, though, with Pope Joan. That's a good story. Look it up.
Well, yeah, they'd have to let women be priests first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There technically was, going off side tangent, I'm not going to get too far into it. You guys can look it up. Pope Joan, there is it's confirmed by everybody but the Catholic Church once you get to a certain point. But there was a pope, a very short-lived pope, and I forgot the name that they took, but it was a trans pope. And they were only busted because they gave birth on a horse riding into the Vatican. So Pope Joan. Yeah. All right. So moving on. At 35 even. Oh, Paula says I stole the trivia question from Creative Spreads today.
I'm sorry.
Sorry about that, Paula.
Paula's been bringing these great trivia questions at the beginning of Creative Sprints in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And you just stole the question. That's hysterical.
All right. So, Speaker Mikey, the look of
the heretic. Yeah.
Speaker Mikey conceded to CNN Tuesday that Trump's first 100 days in office have destabilized markets.
No.
When asked about Trump's low polling, Johnson said, "There has been a little tumult in the markets." Pardon me, sir? A little tumult? With the tariff policy and all that, but I think all of it is settling out. Tumult, yes. So, but by pointing out that, by even admitting that there was a little tumult, by even admitting that Trump has done something that might have done something, is he going to get called to the carpet? Is the Orange Fuhrer going to smack his hand a little?
If I could never again picture his smug face, his smug heretical face, I would be very happy. Raymond saying U.S. exports expected to decrease by 18%. So not only is there's not stuff coming in, it's not, some of it's not going out.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, as Mikey will agree that Biden did it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
As long as Mikey gets Trump's vile, and I mean vile budget through. Yeah, I mean, there's already been some back and forth, but there is the Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So this is pain. All this hurt, helping people who are poor, this charity here, no. As long as he's actively going forward in cutting charity, causing heartache and heartbreak and who knows what other mess, as long as he's doing that, and as long as he is as awful as the rest as he's supposed to be, he'll get a pass for now, for the most part. By the way, the world card in this is awesome as well.
Oh, I love that. That is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous.
This deck is lovely. It's the Yarn Tarot. Links in the description box.
All right. At 30.
Amy,
go ahead.
Sorry, Amy Jones says, I've seen that Vegas is empty.
Yeah. Yeah. And even in that 100 days interview that we talked about at the top, somebody brought up about travel and Trump, the interviewer brought up travel, and Trump's like, "Oh no, people are still coming. Travel's way up." And the guy's like, "Not anymore, it's not." And Trump's just like, yeah. It's delusions.
Well, remember when Letterman, way back when, or Trump is complaining about China, and Letterman has said some of the Trump stuff there, his clothes and what have you, and he said, read this. What does this say? This on this label, made in China. What about this label, made in China? Completely calling him out, and he just went.
Yeah. 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 All right. 3930. Again, I have to pronounce a name that is not native to my tongue, so my apologies. Michigan Democrat Shri Thanedar has introduced, I apologize, I thought that impeachment was looked at yesterday, but we're looking at it now, has introduced not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 articles of impeachment.
We went over them one by one yesterday. It was lovely.
Okay, yes. So 7 articles of impeachment. Canada's Liberal Party has won. Mark Carney is Prime Minister. ranking Democrats, the ranking Democrat on the Oversights Committee has stepped down. So, with all this good news, will Vice-chair Jasmine Crockett take over?
Oh, please, oh, please.
So, for those not familiar with this situation, when Raskin moved up where he went, he was over he was the ranking Democrat on the Oversight Committee. AOC was going to take that position. Was running within, their little internal system to take that position. But from her hospital bed at the time, Nancy got on the phone, and even though everybody was saying, we need somebody young, we need somebody on top of stuff, Nancy's like, okay, yeah, sure. Here's our 76-year-old colleague. And she got enough people to vote for this gentleman, whose name escapes me, to take that position. Well, that only lasted, 2 years? And so he is out. AOC is not either. I don't think she wants it this time. But, or she might. I haven't read that. But Jasmine is vice chair.
She is a star. That's right in the middle.
I love that woman.
Interesting.
Yes.
Ace of Cups. That would be a new beginning. Knight of Swords. That would be she would take her position and run with it. The Star card in the middle. Hopeful. Positive. And on the right, they would throw everything they have at her to try to make her existence miserable, which she would expect.
Mm-hmm.
Because on the right, they are burdened. And not with glorious purpose.
No. Yeah.
Chat says
inglorious narcissism.
Sorry?
With inglorious narcissism, yes.
Yeah, really. Jasmine Crockett. And this would make her vice chair of the Oversight Committee.
Mm-hmm.
Ending in the Ace of Cups. Now, Republicans are still in charge, and there's something about this card that's making my stomach hurt. But resources, King of Swords, there's the process. She could use the process to her advantage. And I've got that beginning of that rise of democratic power, new start, Ace of Cups. For what it's worth. That's some pretty good energy.
I'm seeing some chit-chat in chat. Hang on, how old is AOC? Because there's some talk. Yes. Okay. Well, shall we take a sidestep? AOC has been busy these last few months, touring all over the place with Bernie. Mm-hmm. And doing the thing and listening to folks and fighting the good fight and getting people riled up as they should be. So there's some question in the chat. AOC's 35. Could we see a run for the big house anytime soon from her?
And the strength card just popped out.
Okay.
In the world we should be living in? Yes. Card for the reading. In the world we're actually living in? Ten of Pentacles, that's the dynasty, Republican dynasty. Ten of Swords, ouch. There's a Hermit in the center, isolation. Four of Pentacles, day late and a dollar short. Queen of Swords. She can do a lot of good, but this doesn't feel like this feels like
we maybe not there yet.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet.
Okay.
Which is infuriating.
Yes.
Okay, I know this is very small, but she's got slippers on.
That makes me happy.
Or at least comfortable flats.
All right.
Bridget said Cash Peters read on her energy, said it felt far off if it happens. Similar. Yeah.
Okay. Now, where I think we've got time for another one. This one is most amusing. I'm so glad I'm here for this one because we're about to have a y'all. Okay.
We love a good y'all.
Just buckle up, buttercups, because here we go. Trump's lead DC prosecutor, Aaron Martin, is coming after Wikipedia for allowing information manipulation and hopes to get their tax-exempt status revoked. Quote, Wikipedia is permitting information manipulation on its platform, including the rewriting of key historical events and biographical information of current and previous American leaders, as well as other matters implicating the national security and interest of the United States. Stairs and Harriet Tubman. Stairs and everything that the Arlington Cemetery did.
Mm-hmm.
After everything done to the DOD's websites, they're yelling about this.
Mm-hmm.
So, will anything come of this? Is this, whew, y'all?
Not much. The card for the reading is Temperance. Okay, so like now it passed a Hanged Man in the Star, so they definitely want to do terrible things because they're not kissing the ring. But center, I've got Page of Pentacles, then I've got Page of Wands. That's weak sauce, and then Queen of Wands, which is a bunch of them. So they could make Wikipedia a general MAGA punching bag-ish, but that's not
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. At 4840. Claude has a question. And thank you for putting the pronunciation here, Claude.
Yes.
You're a real one. So
Thank
Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, didn't get elected, as the kids say. Womp womp. He lost his riding by over 1,000 votes. He cannot be a part of the debates in the Chamber of Commons, but will be able to assist them from the galleries. Way up there. He can hold signs, like in WWE. Okay, sorry. However, he will be able to sit if only an elected member of the Conservative Party of Canada gives up his seat, because he lost his. And another special election will be held to elect him in this riding. I'm not sure how you guys pronounce it. Will he be elected this way, or will he be defeated again? Basically, is he done, or is he going to find a way to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle?
Okay, Two of Swords. This is the card of the voter. This is the woman holding the two swords. This is the card of decision. And this is the card I get for the average voter. Okay, so this is voting. That's the card for the reading. So we're in the right area. Ace of Cups, beginning of liberal. Ace of Wands. So the right isn't done. They're not going to just...
Right.
But Nine of Swords, that's an awful lot of worry. And it feels like him worrying. King of Wands, he wants to be back. But it ends in a Three of Cups, which is liberals celebrating, which isolates him. So with all that worry about this, that doesn't usually mean worry leading to this doesn't usually mean you're getting in. And even if you get in with this celebration, this liberal celebration here, you don't have much power. And there's no major arcana. So could he get back in somehow? The right, they're not done. They're still going to be as difficult as they can be. But it just doesn't feel very strong.
Speaking of all the slithering, if anybody needs to laugh, apparently there was a thing yesterday at the press conference at the White House where a MAGA influencer was asking KK Carolyn some question, basically just, something concerning how Trump is just, a champion for the working mother, and you're such a glowing example. I mean, he was just kissing up so hard. But the issue is that everybody was like, is this a SNL skit? Because he looked like, quote unquote, a Timu Draco Malfoy. So if you look up Timu Draco Malfoy,
no,
the memes, fabulous. If you need to Google later. So good. All right. How are we doing? Are we good for another?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. 52:45.
I don't know how well I can answer this next question, but I'll try.
Okay. Carol wants to know, remember, when is subjective when you're asking cards. The cards are not going to give you specific numbers or dates, guys. So just overall, are we going to have to deal with these cruel ICE practices for much longer? I'm still of the opinion that they can't maintain all that evil at once, and they're going to be pretty busy putting out a bunch of Redneckian fires later. So literally and maybe figuratively, or figuratively, literally, I don't know.
I would hope they might not stop going after green card holders, but they're not going. Their racism isn't going anywhere.
Right.
Weird, which is I just spit all over my phone at Timu Draco Malfoy. It's not the White House or the dumpster fire administration that's going to do anything about these policies. It's the courts. Six of Swords. This is the immigration card. Usually it's the people in the boat. Mm-hmm. Devil. Judgment. This is cruelty. The devil with the immigration. Judgment. Two of Cups would be people who need asylum working with others to try to get people asylum and do good things. King of Swords is people like the inhuman human, jackboot human, trying to get in the way, to make America gross again.
Yeah,
the way it was. This is a nostalgia card. I love how diverse this deck is the institution. I love how diverse this deck is.
Yes.
They don't want America to look like this. I do. You do.
Yeah.
But there's enough churn of that garbage. I'm hoping it doesn't expand beyond that, but
I sent you a picture that's floating along with the hashtag Make Magic Great Again.
I don't know what that is.
That is the Timu Draco Malfoy.
Oh. Okay. Who is that?
He's the MAGA influencer that we were
Oh, do you want me to share it?
Yes, please.
Okay. A second.
You're good.
It's a little small, but we'll give it a whirl.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. Well, hang on. I've got I can grab it from there, but there's that. That helps.
Yeah, he's gross.
He's very poncy.
Hang on, I'm trying to get this thing to get bigger, but I'm not open. No, it's not letting me make it bigger. So I'm better off with the one over here. Okay, sorry about the delay.
Yes, sorry.
Share screen. It's a little small, but yeah, if you look closely. Ew.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a MAGA influencer?
Yes, he used to work for RFK Jr. Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Yes. So, all right. I giggled.
All right. So,
where's Dobby?
Where's Dobby?
Okay. Yes, check the faces around him. Yes. Everybody's kept saying, is this, as he's talking, and the faces of everybody trying to crack up around him, they're like, is this a Saturday Night Live sketch?
Yeah.
Like, is this real? Yeah, it was bad. All right. At 58 even, last question from Tammy. Oh, will the churches ever be taxed?
Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Can we start with Angels in Africa lady?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Don't hold your breath.
Oh, yay.
The good news is that there are some churches this helps. Because there are some churches who actually, there's some Christian churches that, I don't know, follow the teachings of, what's his name?
Christ.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh.
That guy. Yeah.
You forgot? Yeah. Yeah, 10 of Cups. Now, as far as the rest of these, Ace of Wands with the Emperor, Four of Wands is his base of power, Page of Pentacles, blah, de blah. Not anytime soon. This is all just mess.
All right. I do want to interject because somebody will inevitably make a comment later on the rewatch. I am not anti-redneck. I am Southern. Some of my most favorite people are rednecks, but it's going to be that demographic that will march. So I'm just.
You think so?
I think we're going to get to a point to where that there is a point of no return. There is a point of we have voted against our own self-interest for so long that all of a sudden we're not going to have disaster relief because, I mean, there's no FEMA roughly anymore. You know, it's supposed to all go to the states, but the states that need this money are run by the same people who are just going to funnel the money somewhere else. Casey DeSantis. Yeah. So we're going to have issues with, you know, there's rampant drug use, but now no Narcan. So they're going to lose family members. There's a lot. Where SNAP benefits are going to be gone. Housing benefits are going to be gone. There's no good. I mean, and that's before we even address the shortages in supplies. So, well, and Kathy, I do want to say that just because somebody's a redneck does not mean they're uneducated. I know quite a few. I know quite a few educated rednecks. It's just, you know, but it's yes, never. There are different sects of rednecks, just like different churches. Absolutely. So, but there's, yes, and the bankrupt farms. Mm-hmm. Utah had tried to subsidize therapy for their farmers, and the funding ran out, and the state won't re-up it. Surprise.
I pulled some cards for us.
Yes, please.
I did. And what I've got is ultimately, you're standing in the truth. You just are. You're looking at reality. You're looking at ramifications. They are in delusion land where everyone can be judged based on one thing, like the genetic color of their skin, which is a bunch of blankety blank. Mm-hmm. Or if they have money or not. If you don't have money, you're not worth anything, which is a bunch of blankety blank.
Mm-hmm.
But you and me, all of us, we're seeing the truth. People are individuals and should be judged as such. And are you nice? Are you a good person is the number one most important thing. And we can see it. Mm-hmm. And we're not falling for the lies and the hypocrisy and all this kind of stuff. You're standing in truth. This message is not do stand in your truth. It's you already are. You're good there. From there, you are good. You can take the different resources, what you need to do, what you don't need to do, who you need to support or not support. You're good. On the other side, they are just turning themselves. They're just wrapping themselves up in just a mess of just string everywhere, and you can't move, and you have to fit into this, and you have to look like, you know, you have to look like a mannequin, and you have to be cruel, and you better, and they're constantly judging each other, and it's not nice. Mm-mm. It's not nice. So, yeah.
Protect your peace the best you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to do it for us for today. But thank you so much for being on.
I love you all so much.
I just thank you so much, Sarah. You are such a joy. All right. Yes, very backbiting, Cindy. Exactly. All right. So it is 1:15 p.m. here in Chicago and in Louisiana, mm-hmm. in Speaker Mikey's district. Poor Sarah.
Lest I forget.
I'm sorry. I should have said it. I'm sorry. All right. So it's 1:15 here in Chicago. At 3 o'clock, Miss Sarah will be starting sprints over on the Creative Sprints channel. I'll be there as soon as I can be. And other than that, I will be right back here tomorrow. I am literally here every single day of the year, and I have been, other than 2 emergencies, I have been we're getting up near, we're not quite at 5.5 years, but we're getting there. So, yeah. All right. So hang in there. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You're not alone. We're in this together. All of us, we're in this together. There are good days ahead. They're out there. All right. So hang in there. And I will see you later.